Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, Sri Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prayam Sikao Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopagopanana Shai Mukund Radha Kundgiri Govardhan Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagvatam Ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachani Namaste Sonya Ladi Pasta Pradesh Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, good morning. Thank you all for coming. We're starting a new chapter, chapter 64, which we're going to chant one and then, read some more. There's not much in that first verse. So, yeah, let's do like that. Very interesting chapter. Sri Badaranair Nuvacha Edo Pavanam Rajan. Oh no. Ekadavo Pavanam Rajan Jagur Yadu Kumar Kaha Vihartum Samba Pradyumna Charubanu Gadadaya Sri Badarayan Sri Badara Ranir Ekapado Pavanam Rajan Jagmur Yadu Kumaraka Vihartum Samba Pradyumna Charubanu Gadadhaya Sri Badar Yaniruvacha Ekapado Pavanam Rajan Jagmur Yadu Kumaraka Vihartum Samba Pradyumna Charubanu Gadadhaya Sri Badarayani Uvacha, the son of Badarayana, Sukadev Goswami, Uvacha said, Ekada, one day, Upavanam, to a small forest, Rajan, O king, Pariksit, Jagmuhu went, Yadu Kumaraka, boys of the Yadu dynasty, Vihartum, to play, Samba Pradyumna Charuban Ugada Adayaha, and Samba, Pradumya, Charu, Banu, Gada, and others. Translation. Sri Badarayani said, O king, one day Samba, Pradyumna, Charu, Banu, Gada, and the other young boys of the Yadu dynasty went to a small forest to play. Purport. Srila Sridhar Swami states that the story of King Nriga narrated in this chapter is meant to give sober instructions to all proud kings. Although through this incident, Lord Krishna also gave serious lessons to the members of his own family who had become proud of their opulences. So I can say, and you can repeat, Sri Badarayani said, O king, one day Samba, Pradyumna, Charu, Banu, Gada, and other boys of the Yadu dynasty went to a small forest to play. So should I read some more verses? Huh? Okay. Because the story, I'm waiting for the story to get going. Kriritva suchiram tatra vichinvantaha vipasitaha jalam nirudake kupe dadrishu sattva adbhutam. Translation. After playing for a long time, they became thirsty. As they searched for water, they looked inside a dry well and saw a peculiar creature. Vikala samgiri nibham viksha vishmita manasaha tasya god harane yatnam chakruste kripayan vitaha. Translation. The boys were astonished to behold this creature, a lizard who looked like a hill. They felt sorry for it, and they tried to lift it out of the well. Charmajaistant havai pasayir badva pipatikam arbaka nasakurnam sambabudhartum Krishna achakyur utsakaha. They caught onto the trapped lizard with leather thongs and then with woven ropes, but still they could not lift it out. So they went to Lord Krishna and excitedly told him about the creature. Purport. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that because in this chapter the Yadu, the Yadu boys, even Sri Pradyumna, are described as quite young. This must be an early pastime. Yeah, I think I'll read one more. This Tathragat Charana Vindaksho Bhagavan Vishva Bhavana Viksho Jahara Vamena Tam Karena Salilaya. Translation: the lotus-eyed Supreme Lord, maintainer of the universe, went to the well, saw the lizard. Then, with his left hand, he easily lifted it out. So, I think I'll pause there. Om Gyantimarindasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopeka Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gaurange Radha Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustute Devi Pranamami Haripiye. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So please forgive me for my frailties from reading this morning. I get mucus in my eyes sometimes in the morning. It's very hard to see. So let me read these verses again. Srimad Rayani said, O king, one day Samba, Pradyumna, Charu, Banu, Gada, and other young boys of the Yadu dynasty went to a small forest to play. After playing for a long time, they became thirsty. As they searched for water, they looked inside a dry well and saw a peculiar creature. The boys were astonished to behold this creature, a lizard who looked like a hill. They felt sorry for it and tried to lift it out of the well. They caught on to the trapped lizard with leather thongs and then with woven ropes, but still they could not lift it out. So they went to Lord Krishna and excitedly told him about the creature. The lotus-eyed Supreme Lord, maintainer of the universe, went to the well and saw the lizard. Then he lifted it out easily. He lifted it with his left hand. He easily lifted it out. So, this is very interesting. The boys are playing. Shows the culture. These boys are playing, and they come across this odd creature. It's a very odd creature. So, in many parts of the world and in some cultures, the boys would have probably tortured the animal, don't you think? Throw rocks, sticks. Look at this crazy, weird creature. What is it doing here? It's different. So we have the right to maybe punish it. So this is like less than animal propensity. So do animals torture just for fun? Not to my knowledge. An animal will either catch you and eat you, maybe defend if you attack, he may bite you, but just to torture? I don't know any, for instances of that. I don't know any examples. So, but in many cultures, this is an absolute fact. I know in the Western world, many young children, if they found such a creature, they would throw rocks or something. They would try to hurt the creature. But you can see the purity here. Immediately, they felt sorry. Look, This poor creature is trapped. It's an odd creature. They don't know what it is, you see. It's not that they say, oh, I know what that is. That's a so-and-so creature. You know, they couldn't Google it to see what it is. So they say, let's help it. Let's get it out. So they tried with all the resources that they could find. And so that didn't work. So let's go get Krishna. You see? So I think of this, this part of this chapter right here makes me think, this is the way we should be programmed to think. We try. We have our resources. We have our intelligence. We have our teachings. We have one another. So we use the resources we have to tackle certain challenges. And immediately when we start to get some difficulty, let's call on Krishna. Oh, Krishna, please help. Please help me, Krishna. My dear Krishna, I need your help. I don't know who, I have no other one to go to. I don't know where else to turn. So the devotee feels like that. I have nothing but you, Krishna. So we should always remember that we can try our very best, but there may be some resistance from other people. Well, the three miseries there can adibodhika klesh, miseries caused by other living entities, animals, mostly people. People are more bothersome than the animals, aren't they? Miseries caused from acts of the demigods, extreme heat, extreme cold, flood, drought, storm. The storm can come up just like that, knock everything out. But then the one that bothers us most, even more than the storms in the rainy season, is the adhyatmika klesh, troubles within the mind. Our mind will give us trouble, you see. So therefore, that's the big opponent. Our mind. Our mind is an opponent. We think of our mind as our friend. I think of my mind as a resource. And you know what? A lot of times my mind is a very good friend and a very good resource. But if I'm not careful in the training of my mind, it will turn out to be just another misery. It'll mislead me. My mind can be misled, and then it will mislead me. I can get caught up in political things. I can get caught up in gossip. You know, someone may tell me, hey, did you hear about him? What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. You see? And then I get caught up in that. And so then I'm telling you, hey, did you hear this? Blah, 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 blah. And so then you think, oh, wow, let me tell that. But every time I tell it, I want to spin it a little bit to make it more exciting. You see? So this is the nature of Gramyakata, village gossip. This is very dangerous. It's very dangerous to our interpersonal relationships. You see? Very dangerous. Telling things that there's no proof. I tell something about, I hear so-and-so's this way. Why would I tell that? I need to know for sure. Why would I spread that around before I tell it? And then when I tell it to the proper people. Perhaps this is something that I should go directly to the temple authority. Let the temple authority decide who gets to hear, who gets to work on it. What is the truth? What should be said? You see? So this is a tendency that I notice a lot as I go different places in the world. The tendency to gossip. It's like addiction to sweets. I have an addiction to sweets. I don't need them. They're not good for me, but I can't refuse them. You see? So some nice juicy gossip. They call it juicy. You know? Why? Because it's probably drama. It's dramatic. You see? And I get to tell you about someone. If I can tell you something about him that makes him seem lower than me, that kind of artificially makes me seem higher. Isn't it? This is poor Vaishnava behavior. This is not accepted behavior for the Vaishnavas. We don't behave this way. We shouldn't. This Gramya Katha is very, very bad for us. It's very bad for the community. You see, it's not a way to secure lasting, loving relationships. You see, we have to see like that. So we should have the kind of mercy always that we see in these boys here. Their knee-jerk reaction. Their reaction was, let's help this creature. Let's help it. When all else fails, let's turn to Krishna. Krishna is the source of all our resources. I have run out of resources. I've used the leather thongs. I've used woven ropes. All of us together, we've exhausted our resources to save this creature. Let's go to Krishna. So this is Vaishnava behavior. So they go to Krishna. So I think it's always entertaining when Krishna comes on the scene like this. Everyone had tried so hard. These are smart boys. They had used the resources that they had. And so what does Krishna do? Oh, look at this creature. And it with his left hand. Not his right hand. Strong right. With his left hand. He just picks it up. Yeah, let me take him out. Immediately, Krishna says, let me show you. So, this is Krishna being Krishna. Krishna is our ultimate hero. He's our hero. Krishna likes to be our hero. You see, when he comes to this material world to exhibit his transcendental pastimes, he can be the hero. There aren't any difficulties in the spiritual world. There are no demons. There are no demons to attack and harass the devotees. So when Krishna comes here, you can see he spends a lot of time being a hero. Why? Because we need a hero. In this material world, we need a hero. Why, people look up to heroes all the time. They vote for them. Sometimes if one is a musical star or a show business movie star, television star, they become a hero. Why, look what the star is wearing. Why, tomorrow everyone will be dressed like that. Isn't it like that? I've seen that. People come up with the stars may wear some funny new kind of hairdo. And then everyone starts to wear the hero, the star. They don't even know who this person is. We're making him out to be a hero. Because we saw him in a movie and he had some rifle and he was shooting so many people and he was fighting. And we don't even know what he's like in real life. We have no idea. We believe in an illusion. We think that he is this character. He is portraying a character that someone invented. Some writer invented some character. And now this handsome man or beautiful woman is doing something that was written down, has nothing to do with the way this person really is. And they become our hero. This is a very sad situation. Why? Because we need a hero. In this material world, there's danger at every step. And we know we can't deal with all the danger that's in front of us in this material world. We cannot do it alone. I need a hero. Why, this man up on the podium says that he will change this. He will be progressive. He'll change that. He's my hero. He's come to save me. This is due to lack of Krishna consciousness. So the devotees don't have these false heroes. Most devotees don't have these false heroes. We're not patterned after what a group of outside people do. You see? If a group of people starts to wear a certain type of cloth or a certain hairdo, we don't follow that. We're not influenced by these outside. Most of us are not influenced by these outside influences. You see? No matter what's going on outside these doors, tomorrow we're going to come together and we're going to be just like today, aren't we? And today was just like yesterday. Our laws are Srila Prabhupada's books. Our rules are set forth by our governing body. You see? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us our mission. Our mission hasn't changed. Do you think our mission will change? No. Can it? Not for us. No. Someone else's mission may change. Our mission is the same. We get our orders from our heroes. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. These are our heroes. This is where we get our instruction from. We can't take instruction from so many different people with so many different concepts. What type of intelligence is that? In the modes. This intelligence is in the modes. We have to have resolute determination to follow our program. Our program is to spread Lord Chaitanya's movement. We have to have resolute determination to spread this movement. You see? And if someone has some sort of a different, let's try this, let's do that, that's okay. You go do it. We know what our mission is. We can see great success already. Especially in India. I can't stop thinking about the fact that we have 10,000 college students chanting 16 rounds a day. This is amazing. This is very wonderful. So someone should come up and say, how did you do this? What is the formula that you use? Well, it's, right here, Srila Prabhupada's classes. So it's from Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. We're following the program. And guess what? It's working, isn't it? So it's like I was saying to someone the other day, if your motorcycle is running fine, do you fix it? There's a saying in the West, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's not broken, there's no need to fix it. But some people think, well, let's fix it. But it's working. It's working very well. It's working better than ever. Yes, but let's fix it. You know, so if it doesn't need fixing, don't fix it. Just do it. Follow what works, you see. So let's keep Krishna as our hero and our mission. Our mission. Keep it first and foremost in our minds. Let's follow in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, the previous acharyas, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Let's follow like that. Let's put our energy and our intelligence into doing what it is that we do best. That's like if you join a band and you play the clarinet very well, and someone says, why don't you play this other instrument? Well, I've never played that. I'm not good at that. Do what you do best. Do where your strength is. They say in business, always try to maintain a position of strength. Stay in a position of strength. Do what you do well. We shouldn't try to walk the path of another. Let's do what we do and what we do well. And so I think it's amazing, again and again, how Krishna likes to show us that he's the hero. Here I come to save the day. Again and again, Krishna's doing this. So we should understand Krishna is our hero. We may be slightly impressed by some of the things that other people do. Maybe the president does something nice. Good job. Maybe this person does something nice. Good job. You see? But we're impressed by our hero, Guru. Our Guru is our hero. The sadhus are our hero. Krishna is our hero. He's our ultimate hero. He gives us this impression that you can take shelter of me. Look at me. I am your hero. I'm here to save you. I save so many. That's what I do. I am your shelter. Therefore, surrender unto me. Krishna wants that. Again and again, he says, surrender unto me. All through Bhagavad Gita. Krishna's always saying, surrender to me. I'm your hero. You get behind me. Follow me. I will take care of you. I'm your dearmost friend and ever well-wisher. If the demons attack, I will protect you. So we have to always think like that and keep our mind on a short leash. You know, they say like that in the West. Hey, keep your dog on a short leash so it doesn't run around and bother people. Keep our mind on a short leash. Don't let our mind run around. Don't let our mind be attracted this way, that way. You have to focus the mind back. It's like sometimes we see someone taking a herd of cows down the road. And the cows sometimes are following. Jai, C.C. Gordon, Jai. Cows are following nicely on the path. And then every so often, this cow wanders away. And so the man herding the cows, he's got this stick and he'll tap lightly with the stick, get the cow back on the path. Over here, another cow goes off the path. He taps. Sometimes he taps it on the ground. You know, he gets the cows try to do this. And he, no, get back, go. So we have to do that with our mind. We're going along. Sometimes we're chanting japa, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna. You know, we have to do that. You know, chant. I knew one devotee one time, back in the 70s. Sometimes some of the people chanting in japa time would be very unusual. Sometimes you would see people that would be, there was this one devotee, God brother, I'm not going to mention any names because they're still with the movement. He would go over to the corner and chant. And as he fell asleep, he would bang his head against the wall. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Banging his head against the wall. That's got to hurt. I mean, he's hitting his head so hard, you'd think he'd knock himself out. And other people, one devotee, he would chant with his hand in his bead bag. And for him to focus, he would go, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Can you imagine? You're sitting next to someone trying to chant. He's all these silly things that they would do. And there was this one devotee, as he would stop, as his mind would drift away, he would say to himself, chant! Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Chant! Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna. Chant! Hare Krishna, Krishna. And then there was this one devotee that had a picture that he put in front of his eyes of Radha and Krishna. And he would go walking around the block, around the temple. And as he walked and he would chant, he would see this devotee, this picture of Radha and Krishna. And so every day he would go on a bigger walk, more and more walks. And then one day he didn't come back. He just, I don't know what happened. We never heard of it. So, it's like I think with my mind, you know. I'm afraid to let my mind wander. Have you heard that saying? Let my mind wander? I'm afraid to let my mind wander. I'm afraid it won't come back. It'll just keep going. You know? Come back, you know. It'll take off. So whatever we have to do, when chanting, when serving, we have to do whatever we have to do to keep our mind focused. We can't let our mind walk away or get off the path. It'll try to go this way. It'll try to go that way. It'll try to start thinking about the latest gossip. It'll try to start thinking about the latest politics. And you have to say, no, take the stick. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta said, if you must, take a shoe and whip your mind. Take a stick, a shoe, a hammer, whatever you have to do. Keep that mind. You know, get it back on the path. Keep it on the subject matter. Focus. Focus on your service. When we're reading, we have to focus. Does anyone sometimes have problems when we're reading? Did your mind kind of focus, wander? You know, that's frustrating. I'll be reading and I'll think, oh, this is a very interesting story. I wonder what I should reply to that letter. Oh, wait a minute. No, I get back on, you know. I get this request and I think, well, right now I'm going to read. And then I'm thinking about this correspondence or that correspondence or, you know, I struggle with that. So, but it's worth struggling over. It's worth struggling for. You see, we have to tap our mind gently, maybe not so gently, maybe very very hard. We have to give it a tap, get it back on focus. So we have to do like that. So we have to remember in all situations, whenever there's even the slightest challenge, Krishna is our hero. Krishna is our hero. Let's focus on that. Let's always remember, because we're going to have many, many challenges, right? I mean, they may be small, anywhere from small, medium-sized, large challenges every day. We have to remember, Krishna is my hero. Krishna saved me. I have one God brother that I've known him for 45 years. And every so often I hear him say out loud, Krishna saved me. He says it so heartfelt. Krishna saved me. And he's still a really good devotee after all these years. You know, Krishna saved me. That's if his mind starts to wander away. If he starts to think improperly about someone, if he starts to listen to gossip, if he starts to get distracted by politics, the way he snaps his mind back, he's, Krishna, save me. And he's sincere. He doesn't say it so that anybody will be impressed. It's just his way of dealing with his mind. Krishna, save me. And it works again and again. So, all right, I'll pause and we'll see if there are any questions, comments.
Anybody has a question? So, Prabhu, would you like to tell how you came to Krishna consciousness and met Prabhupada and got initiated?
Ah, okay. Yeah, I grew up in a very poor family, very poor, and it was kind of an interesting childhood. Kind of a bad part of Chicago, you know. And so I left home when I was 16 years old because home was a rough place. And so as soon as I left home, I started to get successful materially. I started to do better financially. I don't know why. And then I started to do very, very well. In my early 20s, I was making very good income. And so, and I was, since I was young and I had plenty of extra money, my job was not a big challenge. I tried real hard to have fun. And so, but fun was hard to have. So I thought, I'll make some more money. Then I'll have fun. So I would make some more money. And I thought I was having fun, but fun is still so hard to have, you see. And so I went on, and I remembered when I was a young boy going to church. My mother would let me go to church because she wasn't very religious. She'd let me go to church because it would get me out of the house. And so I'd go to the church to get out of the house. And so I became interested in what they were saying. The minister was saying this and this, so I started to ask questions. And they didn't like my questions. They were hard questions. And many times they would say, look, there's just some things that God doesn't want us to know. And I thought, that's just not acceptable. You're saying you have this book, and it's the Word of God, and it's complete. But yet I can't get this simple question. I don't remember any of the questions, but it was philosophical. Well, if you say this, then what about that? No answer. And so I became frustrated. And so here I was in my early 20s, around 24, I guess, frustrated. And I started to remember I was wondering, how can I enjoy? I should be able to enjoy. I'm successful. I'm away from my home, which was not so much fun. It's a terrible life. And now I'm free. I have money. I deserve to enjoy. Why can't I enjoy? And then I thought of all those questions that I had in church that no one would ever answer. And so I was walking down the street and I ran into a devotee. Devotees distributing Bhagavad Gitas. And I had heard of the Bhagavad Gita, but I just heard, I didn't know. And so the devotee sticks the Bhagavad Gita in my face, like this. And I said, "What's that? What is that?" I was in a bad mood. "What is that? Why are you sticking that in my face?" And he said, "This is the answer to all of your questions." So I said, "Give me that. Here, take some money. Some more money." Oh. So I took the Bhagavad Gita out in the mountains, and I knew a place very desolate all by itself. Went out in the mountains in the wilderness, and I stayed out there for 10 days, and I read Bhagavad Gita over and over. And when I came out of the mountains, I was a whole different person. Now I had answers. For the first time, I felt like I had found the answers. And so that was in the latter part of 1973. And so then it was 1975. I was in Chicago in January on business. And so the temple president of the Chicago temple said, "Hey, you should come to Rath Yatra in May. Srila Prabhupada is going to be here." And I thought, "Oh, I'm coming. I'm going to see Srila Prabhupada." And so that's when I came, and I met Vishnu Jan Swami, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and so many devotees of the Radha Damodar Traveling Sankirtan Party. And so, and then I'd already decided I'm going to give my life to this movement. And so, nothing exciting, just a guy that got a Bhagavad Gita, started to read, and I was influenced by Srila Prabhupada's words. And then I was influenced by all the nice devotees that I met. And at that time, I was living in Tennessee. I had moved to Tennessee. And so Tamal Krishna Maharaj said to me, "You know, these books are printed, Srimad Bhagavatams are printed 110 miles up the road from where you live. And yet, they ship them all the way across the United States, all the way across North America to Los Angeles. And then they ship them back to the Radha Damodar Traveling Sankirtan Party, which does most of its activities on the eastern part of the United States. What can we do?" And I said, "Maybe if we had some warehouse." And he said, "Yeah, let's do that. Can you do that?" I said, "Yeah." So I rented a warehouse, and we had all the books for the Radha Damodar Traveling Sankirtan Party shipped 110 miles, not 2,500 miles, 110 miles down to this warehouse of mine. We filled it up. I went looking for a warehouse to put Srila Prabhupada's books in, and I found one. The price sounded really good. It was in a really bad part of town, so I was kind of skeptical. So when I got there, I opened the door of this warehouse to look at it, and the floors were just super clean, like a temple. The walls were clean. The whole place was Suchi. And I thought, what did they used to warehouse here? And I never found out, but it was beautiful. And so I took it. I said, yeah, I'll take this. And so within a week or two, we filled it up with Srila Prabhupada's books. And then the Radha Damodar buses would cross through town, load up, take off. Radha Damodar would come. They'd stay at my house. Every bus had Gornitai deities, except for one bus had Radha Damodar themselves. And so I had the association of all the sadhus and the deities that were coming through. And the bus traveling van parties, we had buses and vans. So there was always devotees coming through to pick up books. And sometimes I would rent a truck and take a truckload of books someplace and deliver them to the traveling Sankirtan party. So I had the association of the sadhus, of the book distributors. So, and it wasn't long after that, they started saying, and from reading Srila Prabhupada's books, I started to preach. And as I started to preach, people started to become devotees. And so many of them are still devotees today. And so are their children. And so are their grandchildren. Just from distributing sets of books, I was preaching to people like myself, some hippies, there were hippies, but also people like myself. They're businessmen, young businessmen. And so I would read from Bhagavad Gita, and they would say, oh, that's good. This is wonderful philosophy. So I'd like to get one Bhagavad Gita. And I would say, yeah, you can. I'll give you the Bhagavad Gita. But I know the kind of money you make. You need to buy a set. Oh, a set? Whole set of Srimad Bhagavatams. How much? And I would say the price. I don't remember. Not much. Oh, yeah. Let's say, you've got that much money in your pocket. Yeah. All right. How soon will it take you to get a set? Let's drive across town and I'll get you a set. So many people, business people, young business people became devotees. And like I say, they're still devotees today. So that's how it all started. And then later on, after Prabhupada left, Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked me to move to Dallas and get into management there, and to move all of these families from Tennessee to Dallas. And so they did. They moved. And like I say, they're still there today. They're all management in the temple. So since that was in 1979 when we moved to Dallas. So that's my story. Is that all right?
Anybody has any other question? As a brahmachari, it may be little easier to live in temple, serve in temple. So you are saying that you shifted some families to temple from Tennessee to Dallas. So how they could maintain Krishna consciousness and maintain families and finances and all these things and everything. How they were able to be convinced that they have to live in temple and live Krishna conscious way.
Well, they all became initiated by Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and they became actively engaged. There was a while where they were not working a business. For a while, they moved into the temple and took up temple service, at least for a while, to get a taste of everyday temple life. And then, as the need came up, they got jobs and worked around Dallas, but they were focused on a strong morning program. In the morning, go sing and dance in front of Radha Kalachandji, go through the morning program, chant their rounds with the devotees. Now, they weren't always able to go to all the programs, but at least they had that foundation. And a big Sunday feast program. Everyone participated, the whole community participated in that Sunday feast program. You see? So they became integrated, part of the temple right away. Not just someone, and we had all the houses around the block. The temple owned all the houses, or most of them. Now we own all of them, I think, in Dallas. And so everyone lived right there. It was a simple walk, easy walk, maybe from here to the rut, no further than that. To go from here to the rut, no further than that, to go to the temple from their house. Some maybe a little closer, you see. So it was a favorable environment to advance in Krishna consciousness. And so, as I said, they all became leaders, and they're still leaders today in that community. So, but yeah, they moved in the community, close by, and became integrated into a part of the program. But first, for a while, they all had just devotional service. Just devotional service, just temple devotees for a while, until the need came where they needed to go out and get jobs. So, and then off and on through the years, sometimes they would leave their profession and take up a position of management within the temple, full-time. Sankirtan leader, one of them became temple vice president. He later became temple president. Whatever was needed, So for a time they would be working a job, then they would be temple devotee for a few years, then they would be working career again, as needed. The mission was always the same, to push forward Srila Prabhupada's movement. And we do whatever we have to do that. We serve in whatever capacity is required for us to accomplish our goal. And that may mean this, it may mean that. So it was basically, we did what was best for the community and not looking at self-interest. We didn't really look at self-interest so much. So it was a wonderful time. And that community has grown and grown and grown since then. It's always had really, for the last few decades, it's had very good management. Very good management. Okay, anything else? Jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
His Grace Jivananda Prabhu ki Jai.